Welcome to the next gen call of Renovation. We have representation from BT kids, students, and young adults across all of our campuses. Excited for this conversation. So just considering what's happening in the lives of kids, students, and young adults, what are some kind of ways that you see God impacting the kids, the students, and young adults in your ministry of God working in and through them?
So yeah, one weekend was definitely a huge highlight of the year so far. We had 45 students give their lives to Christ. 9 of those students answered a call to ministry, and 5 of those 9 students are BT students. And just seeing them stand up in the worship center, like feeling that call to ministry was so awesome to see. And some of them were middle schoolers. And so right now we're working to disciple them and walk them through what that might look like for them in ministry. And another huge thing about one weekend that was so different this year, thanks to Renovation, was that we got to use the pavilion for the very first time for a block party at the end of one
Welcome
weekend.
back, Pavilion.
That was so cool to see, just kids running around everywhere, but playing basketball under the pavilion, community happening, and just having that new facility, that new space for students to belong and just be themselves. It's a huge addition to one weekend. So definitely a highlight.
Man, I love to pivot to kids ministry, man. Let's hear some stories of life change and impact of how God is working in and through BT kids.
It seems like kids are dealing with more than they ever have. And for that reason, we're seeing such a responsiveness to God and to the gospel that in the past year, 2023, we were able to witness a total of 60 kids that have trusted in Jesus for salvation.
That's so
and
amazing.
71 of them who were baptized. I mean, it's like what God is doing in this season. It's not normal. I mean, God has allowed me to serve for 17 years in a next gen ministry, and I've witnessed anything like this, and it's
so
just
cool.
been amazing to be a part of it as we talk about renovation, the God working in us and through us, kids making these decisions that are just lives that are being transformed. So this year, 2024, just 4 months in, we've already been able to celebrate 27 kids that have trusted in Jesus for salvation, and many of them that have been baptized. And so it's hard to explain what God is doing, but it's definitely Ephesians 3:20 and 21 being lived out.
Man, let's move over to YA for a little bit. I would love for just some of our young adults on here to share what's happening in the life of young adult ministry. Personally, for me, it's been insane. I get overwhelmed almost every Tuesday night that we gather together, because it's just cool to see the passion in the room of how young adults worship has been like one of the most enjoyable things for me. And so for some of you young adults, man, like what's God been doing?
Here at the university, I've had the pleasure to lead FCA on campus, and it's been such a blessing because I just get so much feedback that people don't even hear, and just the goodness of what God's doing with people's testimonies and their stories. And thank you for young adults as well. Like, we have so many foreigners, people from South Africa, people from the UK, like I said, and they have a home here. Like they genuinely have a home. They can come here. If they need prayer, they just want somebody to hang out with. So that's my little spill, but it's been really good.
What's your prayer for the next generation?
I'll say my prayer for the next generation is that they would stay hungry. I think sometimes we see it here, just in church in general, where you come back from camp, you come back from something and there's a spiritual high. And so my prayer is that we would keep that going, and my prayer for the church now is to not water down the fire, but to fan the flame.